Top on the news, Lagos residents prepare for low-key Eid-el-Kabir celebration. Correspondent highlights significance of the festival of sacrifice for Muslims. Police command reveals plans for crime-free Salah celebration. Hello and welcome to the Nta2 News at this hour. I am Adeola Komiakiri. Spiritual upliftment is predicated on piety and obedience to Allah. These virtues were demonstrated by Prophet Ibrahim when he showed willingness to sacrifice his only son, Ishmael. The significance of that submissive act defines Eid-el-Kabir. Our Yusuf Jibo reports.
Eid al-Adha, also referred to as Eid al-Kabir, is the Islamic festival of sacrifice, which falls on the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th and final month in the Islamic calendar. The festival is celebrated throughout the Muslim world as a commemoration of Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice everything for Allah.
When Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ was about to sacrifice his son Ismail, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to stop, commended him for his obedience, and substituted the sacrifice with a ram.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was narrated that the Prophet said it is one of the best days in the sight of Allah, and is also considered as one of the best days of the Hajj period.
This year, Muslim faithful are encouraged to observe the Eid prayers at home or in the mosque by sacrificing an animal, that is for those who can afford it, and to also give out in charity. Muslim scholars say the sacrifice should be shared into three: one portion for charity, one for immediate consumption, and the last portion for consumption at a later time.
Animals permissible by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sacrifice are ram, sheep, goat, cow, and camel.
Eid al-Kabir is also celebrated to mark the end of the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
As to Eid-el-Kabir celebration, Lagosians' patronage for rams and other alternative animals for the festival of sacrifice is on the downside. Annie Daniels reports.
Of Lagos now have temporary ram markets. The availability is for the convenience of would-be buyers who need the ruminants to complete the Eid celebration. However, unlike previous years, the rams are not in high demand, which reflects in the supply.
A day to Salah like this, like last year, everywhere here that's finished. We have sell everything finished.
Corona collapse anything. 1 year ago, it is notified 45 to 50. One can notify 70,000. And then we advise for our people to maintain how Corona is and chop a small thing.
The Ijora Ram market, which usually is a beehive during festive seasons, projects a contrast. Transactions were slow, making the eve of the big Salah seem like an ordinary day. Interestingly, the rams are not really expensive, and the few buyers say they are making choices based on their ability to pay.
Now, is they easy, small, because no cost too much because of the Corona. Because now, tomorrow is a Salah, they will live here.
They say it's 150,000 last, 150,000 naira. I think it's okay now. Yeah, it's okay. So compared to last year, like this now last year, I think it sold for 120,000, 100,000 naira. But this year, I say it's 150.
The fall in demand for the ram, the stress, is why the animals are currently sold with marginal profit in mind.
People see the ram remaining, still never sell them because people don't have money.
If you see somebody where go buy 40,000 naira, I go put Salah because I know like to carry them go house.
While Muslims look forward to a very joyous and wonderful Eid-el-Kabir festival or celebration, they are advised to please cut their coats according to their cloth. Eid-el-Kabir will come and go. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA.
Unlike other days of the week, the roads in Lagos are devoid of the usual traffic that has characterized movement within the metropolis. Dr. Oguyemi, who monitored the situation, reports that the police have strategies in place to ensure a hitch-free Eid al-Kabir celebration.
It is a public holiday, and the roads are a clear reflection of this. Fewer cars are on the roads as Muslim faithful are celebrating at home due to the ban on religious gatherings and relaxation centers as a means of curbing the spread of COVID-19.
So many people are at home, maybe doing one thing or another, but on working days, you know, people come out for their businesses and go to work.
Like weekdays work, when there's work, there's always traffic. But today the road was kind of free.
I just came back from an inspection of all the alternative routes now. I know we are having major problems around the stadium and the Costain axis. The traffic is heavy, quite heavy, but it's moving gradually.
And while residents are forced to celebrate at home, the police are out to ensure that lives and property are well protected during the festivities.
We are not on holidays. So you realize that just about 72 hours ago now, so we have the Tomiland Bridge now, we have been on. So that one shall continue. So we deploy more than enough personnel. Even yesterday, and we have to add more to the personnel after reviewing it after 48 hours. So with this one now, we employ every member of the public now to go about their level celebration, and the police is out to protect their life and property.
It's been a well-planned out strategy to meet up with the challenges of the high traffic volume that we are going to encounter this festive period.
The Lagos State government has also urged residents to be modest in their celebrations and continue to observe prescribed protocol towards defeating COVID-19. In Lagos, Dr. Oguyemi, Nta News.
It has been established this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration on Friday will go without the usual fanfare. Muslim celebrants are adopting proactive measures to stop the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country.
The Etudais are an average Muslim family of 5 in Lagos. Mohammed Etudai, the head of the family, told Nta News that he has ruled out visits from relatives and friends as the family prepares for Eid al-Kabir. Mohammed emphasized that the preparations for Salah by his family is with caution as all preventive measures for curbing the spread of COVID-19 are being adhered to.
The plan is to still get across to some of our family friends, so which is by dispatching to them some ram meat because they are really requesting for it. So there's no COVID with food, but all the preventive measures will still be put in place as we do all of that.
Rashidat Etudai, Mohammed's wife, disclosed that she will be staying back at home with her family to observe Eid prayer and ensuring that they maintain social distancing while celebrating.
Before, I normally bring other people like all these local people, all these local like caterer, you know, they'll come to the house, we'll do everything together. But right now, because of what is on ground, COVID-19, so I'll do that with my cook, just my cook alone. So I will dispatch to our friends, our family friends.
This is the last born of the family. By her gesture, it is obvious that she has a lot to say. Another Muslim family, the Harunas, would have traveled to the north to felicitate with extended family and enjoy the Durbar, but for obvious reasons, they can't.
This year, there is nothing like horse riding, there is nothing like Durbar. But however, I know it is important for them to visit my parent. But because of the activities that has to do with maintaining protocol of social distance, and the economic impact it also have on the citizens, we are celebrating here in Lagos in a very low-key situation, just as we celebrate the small Salah after Ramadan.
In a message to Muslims, the federal government had urged worshippers to observe all the safety protocols if they must attend Eid prayers. The message advised the elderly and persons with underlying ailments to remain home during Eid. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, Nta News.
Thank you, Awal. And still on the Festival of Sacrifice, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has felicitated with all Nigerians and in particular the Muslim Ummah on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Kabir. A statement by the President of the Senate observed that Eid al-Kabir, Islam's feast of sacrifice, is very significant to Muslim faithful as it is a reminder of the imperative of unconditional obedience to Allah, the Most Merciful. He urged Nigerians to continue to seek the face of the Almighty, especially in the fight against COVID-19, as the National Assembly is collaborating with the executive in response to the pandemic and other legislative interventions. You're still watching Nta2 News at this hour. We'll pause here for a breather. The news will be right back. Stay with us.
Hey, beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Intel 4G. Intel. Live more.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now to other stories. Stamping out human trafficking in Nigeria requires collective efforts and sincerity of purpose. This was the submission of some concerned Nigerians at an awareness work organized by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP Lagos Command. Annie Daniels has details.
Available statistics by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP Lagos, reveals that between January 2020 till date, the agency has rescued 250 victims of human trafficking, with 35 suspects going through investigations. Commandant NAPTIP Lagos, Daniel Atokolo, stated that poverty, insurgency, general unrest, unemployment are among reasons for illegal migration.
Among them is a 13, 14-year-old girl. Some of them are even pregnant. They were brought purely for sexual exploitation. The monies, most of them didn't have control of the revenue, access to the process of what they were doing. Somebody brought them.
It is a prevalent issue and people don't understand. This is a $150 billion industry. It is a cartel.
These concerned Nigerians pointed out that human trafficking is a violation of a person's right, and it exists because the vulnerable, especially women and girls, are taken advantage of, and until those found guilty are brought to book, the illicit trade will persist.
A lot of victims are actually afraid to come out. Sometimes when they have been, rescued, they may be unwilling to come forward and give relevant evidence because of fear of reprisal attacks on family.
The Trafficking in Persons Act was enacted in 2003. You can either pay fine or you are sentenced, but the act has been amended and there is no option of fine again. That means that once you are convicted, you have to pay fine, and you will also serve in terms of imprisonment.
The theme for this year is Human Trafficking Destroys Life. Take a stand against modern-day slavery, an act capable of destroying lives and destinies. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
The latest statistics provided by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control reveals that 404 new cases of coronavirus have been recorded in the country as at the 29th of July, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 42,208. The breakdown of the new cases shows that Lagos recorded the daily highest with 106, followed by the FCT with 54, Rivers 48, Plateau 40, Edo has 29, while Enugu has 21, Oyo 20, Kano 18, Ondo 15, Ogun 10, Ebonyi 9. Still on the breakdown, Ekiti has 9, Kaduna 6, 5 in Cross River, Kwara 4, Anambra and Delta have 3, Imo and Nasarawa 2 each, while Borno has 1. The total number of patients discharged so far stands at 19,004, while 873 deaths have been recorded so far across the country. With the steady reopening of several sectors of the economy, the Nigeria Police Force has redoubled its combat readiness to tackle all forms of criminality. This stance was re-echoed when 651 recently elevated officers in Lagos were decorated into designated ranks at the police headquarters. And Imolia Yotokede will tell us all.
Lagos State, with an estimated population of more than 22 million people, inevitably has a rising crime rate, especially during festive period. This promotion is therefore viewed by the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Akim Odumosu, as a call for more proactiveness to crime prevention by the 31 newly promoted officers of the command.
Shall now be judged by their actions and inactions. So we employ them, we advise them now to keep the flag flying and make sure that they don't do anything that will tarnish the image of Nigerian police force and the image of Nigerian country as a whole.
The command spokesperson, Bala Elkana, who has been promoted to the rank of a superintendent of police, renewed his commitment to serving the nation.
You know, the dream of every officer is to grow in that particular profession. And seeing myself moving up, not being static in the job, is something worth appreciating God for.
A visibly elated Olaide Olabode moves from being an inspector to an assistant superintendent of police.
Being a senior officer now, I know I'm charged with certain responsibilities. I know my responsibilities are more and greater, and I'm going to try my best.
The officers pledged to uphold the ethics that govern the force with utmost credibility and undying commitment. In Lagos, Imolia Yotukide, Nta2 News.
A wingtip incident involving Middle East Airlines and Turkish Airlines aircraft was alleged to have occurred Wednesday night at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The incident was said to have occurred when the Middle East airplane was coming to park on the apron just as the Turkish airline was about to depart from the airport, leading to the grounding of the two planes. However, our correspondent could not immediately get the details of the incident, but it was learned that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has been notified. There has been numerous ground collision incidents at the airport over the years. The consistency of the incidents led to the remarking of the airside by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN. The fifth evacuation flight of Nigerians stranded in the United States of America is expected to arrive at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, this Saturday. In a statement by the Consular General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ethiopian Airline with flight number ET547 is scheduled to depart George Bush International Airport, Houston, Texas, tomorrow at 14 hours and arrive Lagos on Saturday at 20 hours. While on board, prospective evacuees are required to wear face masks and be in possession of hand sanitizers for intermittent use throughout the journey. And talking entertainment, Rema has been named as one of the 27 musicians to make 2020 better, as Yvonne Orji video call her Nigerian parents about Emmy Awards. These and more on our entertainment news with Uzeze Arure.
GQ has named Nigerian singer Rema as one of the 27 musicians to make 2020 better. Other artists on the list include Doja Cat, Roddy Ricch, Ari Lennox, among others. The magazine reported that Rema has already been endorsed by Barack Obama, who featured his track Iron Man on his 2019 playlist. The 20-year-old Afropop star broke through with his single Dumebi, which became a viral dance sensation. Rema is a native of Benin City. Nigerian-American actor Yvonne Orji has been nominated for the Emmys. The movie star took to her Instagram page to share the news together with a video of her parents' reactions.
Yvonne. Mommy, Daddy, what a good news. I just got nominated for an Emmy.
Got nominated for Emmy. Congratulations.
Speaking partially in Igbo dialect, the movie star couldn't hold back tears as her parents praised and prayed for her. Orji will be battling with other actors for the Best Supporting Comedy Actress category in the Emmy Awards, which is billed to hold later in the year.
Prominent elder statesman and leader of Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere, Senator Ayorinde Fasomi, is dead. He was aged 94. It was gathered that he died in the early hours of Thursday, 30th July 2020. May Allah have mercy on his soul and grant him Jannatul Firdaus. And still on the death of the Afenifere leader, President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the Yoruba socio-cultural and political organization Afenifere in mourning the passing of Pa Ayorinde Fasomi, describing his death as a big loss to the nation. In a statement, the president condoles with people and government of Osun and Ekiti states, family members, friends and associates of the elder statesman who served as a legislator in both House of Representatives and Senate, and distinguished himself politically by always standing for the truth, especially on issues related to the uplifting of the downtrodden. President Buhari affirms that Chief Fasomi's wise counsel, born out of humility, deep reflection, diligent studies and experience, will be sorely missed by governments at different levels, as he regularly and willingly listened to leaders and always had a good advice on going forward. As an ardent follower and prodigy of the late sage Obafemi Awolowo, the president believes the fearless and consistent leader of the Yoruba social, cultural and political organization lived to serve his people and the nation, and the progressive ideals that he projected impacted greatly and provided a roadmap on development at state and federal levels. President Buhari notes with commendation that the effort of Chief Fasomi in the founding and sustenance of Nigeria's democracy will be remembered, and posterity will be glad for his great sacrifices. The president prays that the Almighty God will receive the soul of the departed leader and comfort his family. Nigerians, and now to sports.
Despite Nigeria Football Federation's insistence that the Football House will not beg Arsenal striker Bukayo Saka to play for the Super Eagles, football-loving Nigerians say the decision to don Nigerians' jersey should not be left to the 18-year-old alone, urging the NFF to go after him.
I think in the end, Nigeria is going to get him. If we don't get him, that means we did not make enough effort. I think Bukayo Saka is either he's been influenced by his parents, or it's just a personal decision, looking at where he's going to eventually get more playing time.
Saka, who was born in London to Nigerian parents, is still eligible to play for the Super Eagles despite representing England at junior levels. In basketball, all eyes will be on Toronto Raptors, who are bidding to successfully defend the NBA title as the 2019-2020 season restarts. Raptors' first game against Los Angeles Lakers looks like a daunting task, but analysts say Masai Ujiri's team are up to the task.
Masai still has a bit of his personnel still around him. Well, we still have Serge Ibaka, and he still has those mixtures of European players who actually made them to win the league. But one thing I must say, it'll be a tight one.
In other news, top-ranked women's tennis player Ashley Barty has announced she will not be playing in either the Western or Southern Open or the US Open due to coronavirus concerns. The Australian believes there are still significant risks involved playing at the tournaments, and she will not be putting her team in a difficult position. The 2020 US Open main draw begins on August 31. With sports update, I am Badi Adeleye, Nta2 News.
And Sports Update wraps up the news at this hour. To our Muslim Ummah, we wish you a peaceful Eid al-Kabir celebration, and let's all remember to observe all preventive measures to fight the coronavirus. I am Adeola Komi Akere.